Norwegian Cruise Lines reporting earnings today, and they were stellar, record over record, but investors didn't much like it. With me now, CEO Harry Sommer. Harry, it's great to see you. When you're on the earnings call and you say, look, this was our best third quarter ever, and then the stock is just sinking, that's got to feel discouraging.
So Contessa, first of all, thank you for having me on. Listen, I'm not in the business of managing to a stock price. We're in the business of managing to great guest experiences and great financial results. I think the results that we show today have a little bit of both. We had record revenue, record EBITDA, record bookings in the quarter, which will reflect well in our 2026 results. And our guest experiences, our guest satisfaction scores continue at record results. Can't really comment on an individual day of stock movement, but we think the future is quite bright.
Okay, let's dive down then. If it's lowering your full year expectations on net yield, if it's what people were paying for tickets or what they were spending on board, what is it that the street wants from you that you're not delivering?
I think that there were periods coming out of COVID where yield growths were abnormally strong. No one ever suggested that that was continuous. I think maybe the street wanted to see that continue. I think we're more now into the long term where we believe on a measured capacity growth basis, we can grow our yields in the low to mid single digit range. We can keep costs at sub inflationary growth while maintaining outstanding guest satisfaction results. We believe that expands margin. I mean, over the last 2 years, we've expanded our EBITDA margin by 600 basis points. And we think there's another 200 basis points to come in 2026 to hit our long-term financial targets. We think that's where the proof is.
Also, when you're looking at that margin expansion, you're doing that with a real shift in focus. This grabbed my attention when you were diving into this on the call today, talking about really making families the focus of your future business. How does that play off with profit? Because we're hearing a lot, not just in the cruise lines, but in lodging and other travel and leisure, about how the luxury segment is still holding up really well while the budget-minded travelers are pulling back a little bit. So I always think of families as being more budget-minded. Talk a little bit about your strategy in making the families the focus.
So I'll start out by reminding everyone that we have 3 brands. We have 2 luxury brands, Oceania Cruises, which is our introductory luxury brand, and Regent Seven Seas Cruises, which is our ultra luxury brand. Those continue to focus on those high net worth individuals, usually a little bit older, certainly not with children in their household. And those brands are doing fantastically well. They had the same record bookings in Q3 that I talked about on the NCL brand as well. The shift to families is on the NCL brand, one of our 3 brands, but we're really looking at premium families. We're not looking at, lower end families that might be pinched in more difficult economic times, but the premium families that are doing well, and they're coming in spades. Our occupancy for Q4 is up. We talked about our occupancy next year being at above 2024 and 2023 levels. So we're really seeing those families coming back quite well and quite strongly.
And then what are you seeing in terms of spend? Do premium families spend more on board? Because, after all, if you're traveling with 4 people rather than 2 and you want the drinks package, well, then that's a drinks package times 4.
Yes, so absolutely. Listen, the economics work such that when we can get 3 and 4 people in a cabin, we do better economically than when we only have 2 people in a cabin. So absolutely that works. Not necessarily on an average basis because the children are paying a little bit less, but on a per cabin basis, certainly that's better economics for us and better margins and therefore better profitability.
I know, because excursions cost the same whether you're 12 or 18. So,
yes.
It's for me, if I bring the kids, I got to just shell out the cash. I got to be prepared for that. I want to ask you a little bit about the forward bookings because you said that they're strong. Is that strong for the fourth quarter, strong through 2026? And what does it tell you, those forward bookings, about the health of the American traveler?
So for Q4, bookings already pretty much done. There's only 6 or 8 weeks left in the year. So we're not really getting that many bookings for Q4 anymore. The ships are substantially filled. And I think we suggested at 102% occupancy, which is going to be a very good number for us as well. The booking strength we're having now is primarily for 2026 voyages across our 3 brands. And I think, it talks to the fact that consumers continue to be interested in experiences. They value experiences. They value the value, I should say, that cruises have to offer. And they're also very optimistic about the future because they're making their plans now for Q2, Q3, even into Q4 of next year.
And I know that you're opening the water park on the private island just in time for the holidays. So that's exciting for the families that have booked for Q4. Harry, it's great to talk to you today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Contessa. I appreciate being on.